Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show. Real talk, big opinions, and fearless conversations. From the front lines of politics to the latest in pop culture. From breaking sports headlines to the stories that move the world. Nothing's off limits, and nobody's holding back. Arrington Gavin is here to break it down, build it up, and keep it all the way real. So turn it up, lean in, and let's get into it. This is the Arrington Gavin Show.
What is going on, my friends? What is happening? Welcome to another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show, your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day, whether it is politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz. Look, as always, we're diving deep and keeping it real. So do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join a conversation. On today's conversation, we are going to be talking about, what are we going to be talking about? Let me look. What are we going to be talking about? Oh, I'll tell you what we're going to be talking about. We're going to talk about how a very well-known billionaire, influential individual was offered the vice presidential role, but he turned it down. I'm talking vice president of the United States of America, and he turned it down. In addition to that, I'm going to talk about why is it that the right is so obsessed with Barack Obama, who hasn't been in office since, when was it? When was his last term? It's been years. It's been years ago since he's been in office. And yet the right just cannot stop talking about this guy. They're obsessed. They're obsessed with him. And so the interesting thing is, I will share my honest opinion on why I think they're obsessed with Barack Obama, who was a former two-term president. Also, if we have some time, I'm going to share my frustrations, calling out folks, in my opinion, that are using the pulpit as a money grab and not for the rightful position as they should be doing as a leader. I will share that here on the Arrington Gavin Show. As always, my friends, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to tune into yet another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show. Do me a favor, be sure to like and subscribe if you happen to be watching this video on our YouTube channel. You're probably streaming us right now, so thank you. Like, subscribe, share with a friend. You can also stream us on Rumble at the Arrington Gavin Show. You can also stream us on GoatVerse TV. All right, GoatVerse TV. Please download the app. It is free. It's available in the App Store, Google Play Store for all you Android users out there, Roku, as well as Amazon Fire TV. You will see programs like The Bare Naked Truth. All right, Relationship Goats, as well as Goat Talk Live. But you'll also check out a great program called The Arrington Gavin Show, hosted by yours truly. That's right. It's an amazing streaming channel, independent own streaming platform, and it is awesome. So please do me a favor and support. Also, I want to shout out our listeners who are listening to us on the radio airwaves. Shout out to our New Orleans listeners. Listen to us right now by way of WBOK 1230 a.m. what New Orleans is talking about. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show Monday through Fridays at 7 p.m. Central Time. Again, only on WBOK 1230 a.m. what New Orleans is talking about. You can also listen to the Arrington Gavin Show wherever you get your podcasts. We're available on all major podcast platforms. You can also listen to us going back on the radio airwaves. You can listen to us in the Metro Atlanta area by way of WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk, Monday through Fridays, weeknights at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So again, multiple ways you can tune to the platform. We try to give you great content and great just great conversation. Do me a favor, my friends, follow us on our social media platforms. We're on Instagram at the Arrington Gavin Show. We're also on Blue Sky. as well as X, formerly known as Twitter. You can also subscribe to our Substack page, where we extend the conversation and just great content. It's a growing platform. We're trying to grow it on there as well. I have the opportunity to share my thoughts freely on on that platform, because I don't have the time to do so in an hour-long program. So I I extend the conversation onto Substack. So please do me a favor, follow us on there. Also, if you would like to reach out to me personally, do so by emailing me at info@theagshow.com. Again, that is info@theagshow.com. If you would like to reach out to me personally, if you have any a conversation, a topic you would like to hear me bring up on the show, just let me know. I want your feedback. Feedback is needed, and this is a tip for all you business owners out there, because I happen to be a business owner myself. It is nothing wrong with doing reviews. If you receive criticism, just know, in order to be successful, you have to have your flaws, right? You learn from your mistakes. So it's needed that I'd love to receive feedback, whether if it's good or negative feedback. If you've seen my shorts on social media, I've seen comments from folks. There's folks that enjoys my commentary, and there's a lot of folks that do not enjoy my commentary. But guess what? It's free country, so you have the right to do so. You see the shirt, free agent. Yes, it's a free country. You can say whatever you want. Just make sure it's respectable and respectful and out of love, because that's what I like to do here. So I want to treat you with respect the same way you want to treat me with respect. So there we go. Anyways, and before we head to a commercial break, also check out our awesome website too, www.theagshow.com. Again, www.theagshow.com. Let me go ahead on, before we head to a commercial break. Let's we haven't done this in a minute. Our Black Excellence Report. Here we love to showcase an individual doing great stuff, an individual who happens to be a person of color, and a person from the Black community that is doing some remarkable things in his community, whether it's philanthropic, business, you name it. We want to showcase it here on the Arrington Gavin Show. So on today's Black Excellence Report, I want to showcase Patrick Mahomes. Now, hey, don't throw nothing at me, y'all. Before y'all get mad, you're gonna be like, wait a minute, Patrick Mahomes. I don't know about him, because he do whatever his wife say. Who, by the way, is a Trump supporter and this and that and the other. Look. Set aside from political beliefs or political values, at the end of the day, he's still a brother. He's still a brother. And what he has going on, set aside again from political opinion, he is a spectacular football player, great businessman. He's successful on the field and off the field. So I want to showcase this right here. Him and his wife Brittany, Patrick and Brittany Mahomes, make a massive $275 million investment into the National Women's Soccer League. Says here, since 2020, Patrick and Brittany have been involved with the NWSL, but the new investment shows the duo's commitment to the growth of women's sports. With that investment of $275 million, the couple aims to overhaul the league's visibility, infrastructure, and long-term viability. Excuse me. In addition to that, the NWSL looks to improve everything from player facilities and media exposure to talent development and global outreach. The league is preparing for exponential growth from the Mahomes financial backing. Again, this is, and just to kind of go back on a little history, Brittany Mahomes is a former collegiate and professional soccer player herself, where she played at the University of Texas at Tyler and for UMF Atcher Renlam in Iceland. She played for a squad in Iceland's second division. She is also a longtime advocate for the growth of women's sports. So, hey, look, dislike her for her politics, but right then and there, they're both are doing amazing work in the world of women's sports, which is needed, y'all. How long have we advocated for women's sports? I know for me, being the husband of a athlete, right? My wife is a former collegiate swimmer. My mother-in-law is a former collegiate basketball player and diehard sports fan, and so it's important. This $275 million can go a massive. That's a long way. Look, I'm pretty sure the WNBA at one point was worth $275 million. Just the whole entire league of its own was worth that much. One franchise, look, the Lakers was just got sold for 10 point something billion dollars. You see the huge comparison. So I want to commend Pat Mahomes and Brittany Mahomes for what they're doing in women's sports. That is remarkable, and it's a great thing that, hey, I want to acknowledge here on my program. Again, y'all, I could care less of how y'all feel about their politics, but this is great stuff right here. So yeah, if y'all don't like it, y'all know y'all can I ain't gonna start with y'all. Look, we're gonna head to a commercial break, y'all. We got a lot more show for you here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to.
And we still in traffic.
I don't look familiar, do I? Not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up.
With me?
Yeah, this that new GoatVerse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of that he said?
Introducing GoatVerse TV.
GoatVerse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In Goats, we trust.
Let me tell you something most people get wrong about suits. A suit isn't just about you wearing it. It's how you show the world who you are. It's your handshake before you say a word, your presence when you step into any room. That's why we design statements at Dapper Luke. We don't just make suits. We'll start with the fabrics that tell your story, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blends sourced from the finest mills in Italy, the UK, and India. Then we'll combine that with your vision, your personality, and your style. Every detail is tailored to you, from the fit to the finish. Whether for your wedding, a gala, the boardroom, we specialize in creating custom suits that are unique, just like the men who wear them. We spent years perfecting this craft, apprenticing under designers in New York and showcasing collections in New York and for Baltimore Fashion Week. None of that matters as much as seeing the look on your face when you try on your custom suit. Over 900 clients have already trusted us to deliver the best custom suits. They trust me to deliver the confidence. We proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore and would be honored to bring your vision to life next. Let's create something unforgettable. Book your free consultation today at www.dapperluke.com.
Order your beard care products with Rugged Evolution. We're your local beard care line that supports the maintenance of your full, mature beard. Our line includes conditioning shampoos, moisturizers, balms, oils, shaving lotions, and exfoliating soaps. These products moisturize, hydrate, nourish, and have all the natural ingredients for a healthy beard. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. And remember,
Rugged is the new smooth.
All right, y'all. What is happening? Welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. First up, I want to discuss this story that really, man, it never would have saw it coming. But hey, it's happening to all folks that are originally born from overseas. So, one of the most followed, probably the most followed TikTok star, Cabby Lane, detained by ICE. Trump influencer claims credit. Okay. Let me go ahead and share this video. This image to you all who happen to be streaming us right now, so I can put a face to who I'm talking about. I'm not as heavily involved with the streamers, right? And when I mean by streaming, I'm not talking about what I'm doing now. I'm talking about those who are TikTok. I'll say that. Not say streamers, but TikTok. I'm not as familiar with a lot of the TikTok stars. Now, this guy has made a career. I'm talking multi-million dollars from TikTok. And guess what? He does not say a word. He does not say not a damn word. He's like, he always does that, but it's comedy. It's very humorous. He even took him to a cameo in the I think the most recent Bad Boys movie he was in. And it's hilarious. This reported by USA Today, it says here that Cabby Lame, an Italian Senegalese influencer whose TikTok account boasts the most followers on the platform, has been detained by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Now, in a statement recently, ICE spokesperson confirmed that Lame, whose full name is Syringe Cabane Lam, was detained at the Harry Reid International Airport in Las Vegas for immigration violations. Now, he's born in the Senegal. Lame is now a citizen of Italy, where he has spent the majority of his life. Entering the U.S. Recently, Lame overstayed the terms of his visa and was granted voluntary departure once detained. Now, a pro-Trump influencer, Bo Luden, claims credit for Cabby Lame's detainment. The teenage influencer, Bo Luden, Loudon, a prominent pro-Trump Gen Z voice online, claimed credit for Lame's detain. Wow. People are always trying to live off of being a supporter of Trump. And now I'll have more of explaining what I mean by that. He shared, I discovered he was an illegal who overstayed an invalid visa, invaded taxes, and I personally took action to have him deported. Loudon, a purported friend of the president's youngest son, Barron Trump. So this influencer is probably not even old enough to drink, and yet he literally has the capabilities of saying, hey, look, that guy's illegal, he needs to go back. Like, come on now, that's disgusting. So the president's son's friend has said he's illegal. Where do you get this? Where do you get that information, sir? That's my first question. Where did you receive this information? Just out of curiosity. ICE told USA Today via email that they had no information to provide about Luden's claim. In an interview with the streamer Dylan Page, Luden said that Lame had worked with a few of his friends who informed him that he had overstayed his visa. I mean, this is my issue, y'all. Mind y'all damn business. What harm, for one, again, what harm has he caused for you to say he need to go back? He's overstayed his stay over here. Don't enjoy it too long, buddy. You overstayed. Just come on, y'all. Let me see here. Yeah, there's nothing really too added on to that. Let's see. The move has been resistance. Let me see if they have any added info on that. It says here, this is another quote. It says here, I just called some buddies from the administration, and I've never seen anything happen so quick. So that guy thinks he has all the power in the world to do whatever he wants to do. Now, this guy, like I said, might be 21, maybe younger than that. Luden, alleging that Lame had been giving the option to self-deport, but opted to stay in the country to fulfill some work contracts. Luden, part of President Trump's heavy push on social media during the 2024 presidential campaign, does not hold an elected office, but yet he has the capabilities of hit up some buddies in the administration to deport a guy. Interesting. Again, I mentioned on the success of, I'm not going to explain how famous this gentleman is, but it's disgusting. It's disgusting. And once again, the pedestal of not the pedestal. What am I trying to say here? The way this administration is being handled is you might as well have a 5-year-old being in charge. You might as well have some teens. It's like leaving you leave your teenager at the house while the parents are going on vacation. Hey, houses, you got capabilities, you got control of the whole house. Hey, just don't do anything I wouldn't do. And they start throwing parties all the time. They don't go to school, they start doing this and do that. I mean, like, this guy doesn't have an elected office position, but yet he has the power to call up some of his friends and say, hey, look, this guy is overstayed his visa. Y'all need to get him. Bye. Who's in control here, y'all? Who is in control here? It's just it's a wow factor for me. It's just that's the only response I can think of is wow. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And again, doesn't matter on how successful you are. This guy is a very successful guy. I mentioned I'm late to the party when it comes to TikTok famous stars, but this guy has garnered a career that is so successful. He's made, again, millions off of not saying a word. Let me digress from this story, y'all, and move it on to another big story here. Former Shark Tank investor, also former owner of the Dallas Mavericks, Mark Cuban, says recently that Kamala Harris campaign courted him for vice presidential candidate, but he turned them down. Say what now? Mark Cuban, who is a registered independent, was offered the role, the job as vice presidential candidate, and he turned them down. Now, here's the thing. That doesn't mean Mark did not do all he can to help get Kamala in. He did endorse Kamala Harris. He was on the campaign train with her from time to time. He is not a fan of Donald Trump. Now, it's great seeing that coming from a billionaire, right? Because majority of the wealthy individuals, they support Trump. They do. They support him. Why? Because he benefits their pockets, but he doesn't benefit the American people, the everyday American. So let me go ahead and read this. This is reported by Business Insider. Billionaire Mark Cuban said the presidential campaign team for Kamala Harris had asked him to submit vetting papers for the vice president position, which he declined. In a video clip published recently, Cuban was asked by political commentator Tim Miller, who'd heard a rumor of the exchange if the former Dallas Mavericks owner was really courted by the Harris campaign for the role. I quote here, says, the second part of my response was, I'm not very good at the number 2 person. And so the last thing we need is me telling Kamala Harris, the president, that no, that's a dumb idea. Cuban said he'd also Cuban said he's also not real good at the shaking hands and kissing babies bit of vice presidential role. Mainly what he's saying is I'm not down for the fake BS, because that's what we do see that exists in politics, is the whole, oh, how are you? Yes, I remember. Thank you. Hello. Yeah. Tammy's like saying, I don't want to be here. Let me be upfront with you. You not here to take a picture with me. You want to hear about what we're doing to help keep money in your pockets. You want to know the truth. You want to know what our policies are, and not just the photo op ish that we see time and time again. He mused that the Harris campaign would have looked different with him as vice presidential pick instead of Tim Walz, the former Minnesota governor, who joined Harris on the ticket. Now, before I continue to read this, y'all, I personally think and I go back to strategy, it would have looked really sharp. I think it would have been a winning strategy to have Mark Cuban on the ticket. I think he would have been more popular than Tim Walz, but I understand why they went to Tim Walz because they wanted to find somebody more relatable, right? He's a Midwest guy. He's a former high school educator. He's a former coach, high school coach. He's not a billionaire. I don't think people can relate to a billionaire. That just would not have worked out. I just personally think that voter-wise, because Mark Cuban is an independent, he probably could bring on a strong support of Republicans to support Kamala Harris, Republicans that might have backed Trump in the past. To, you know, I could see him doing something like that. But him, and he's been a billionaire for a long time. It's not like he just became a billionaire. Maybe if he just earned wealth, possibly, but he's been a billionaire for a long time. Again, what story could he share with folks to say, okay, look, this is why if I can do it, so can you? Like, what relatable story could he share, like at the DNC, if you think about it? Exactly. That's the same response I'll have. Crickets. Because I wouldn't know. But what's interesting with this is that we're seeing all this come out of the works now, obviously, because the president's already been elected. The election is over, and they've already made the announcement of, you know, who won that race. And so now a lot of folks are coming out with these stories, these behind the scenes, this and that. And again, I would say this: Mark Cuban is a very smart guy. He's a very unfiltered guy. He's well respected on both sides of the aisle. He is not a fan of Trump whatsoever. He's a smart businessman and successful businessman, something that we don't see in Washington. Let me continue this quote here from Cuban. It said, my personality is completely different than Tim's. My experiences, my backgrounds, are completely different. I think I cut through I won't say the word, but I cut through the ish more directly. I'm not a politician. But as I mentioned, he did support Kamala throughout that whole campaign. But he said a Harris run or administration with him as VP would have ended disastrously. It would have been awful. She would have fired me within 6 days. That's funny. It would have been better than the present situation. Yes, that's true. But you know, I really thought she was going to win. So that's when I disagree with Mr. Cuban. You were hopeful that she was going to win. Everyone's thinking she was going to win because it's like, okay, if you really see the comparisons, yeah, I would have gone with her. Okay. The guy that's 34 counts, 34 convicted felony counts, impeached twice, the constant crybaby moments, the insults, like, no, it was easy, right? But at the end of the day, as I mentioned, you had a president that teased the idea of a second term, waited too damn long. He gives it to a lady who, for one, is a woman, two, a woman of color, three, a person who initially ran for president that did not make it to Iowa. So you can consider that an unsuccessful run for president. And so now and someone that could not, and I get it. So because so many people be like, why could she be real with us and upfront with us? When she was on The View, she said, she basically said she wouldn't do anything different from the previous administration. First of all, y'all have to realize the position of that time was she was still the VP. Do you go out publicly talking about your boss if you're the VP of a company? Do you? Do you go out publicly talking about your boss? You might talk privately, but you don't talk publicly. So I get the issue. But I do think, that being more relatable with folks is a big deal. And folks didn't seem like she was being as honest. and truthful. So that really hurt her towards the end. Says here, when former President Joe Biden abruptly dropped out of the running post nomination in July of 2024, Cuban was one of the earliest and most vocal private sector supporters for Harris, appearing at her events in swing states and fielding pressing calls. During that period, he suggested that Harris could appoint him to lead entities such as the Federal Trade Commission or the Securities and Education's Commission. He says, hey, it's something I could do to have an impact. But he also said at the time that he wasn't keen on a cabinet position, telling ABC a month later that he preferred to be a disruptor and an entrepreneur. Look, keep on making your money, keep on running that mouth, like what I'm doing now. The running the mouthpiece, not making the money. And so Cuban and the press office for Harris did not immediately respond to requests for comment sent outside regular business hours by the Business Insider. So again, it's interesting because, and I know I'm saying this word interesting a lot, but at the time when Harris was looking for a vice presidential candidate and folks were putting up their, list of folks who will be great candidates, you had at the time the governor of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer. You had Georgia U.S. Senator Raphael Warnock. You had Governor Wes Moore out of Maryland. You had Andy Beshear out of Kentucky, governor of Kentucky. You had the governor of Pennsylvania in Josh Shapiro. You had, who do you have after that? You had was Tim Walz initially up? Yeah, I guess Tim Walz was up there. Dang, I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. But it's gonna come to me. But eventually, Tim Walz ended up winning it. Now, a lot of folks are saying, "Hey, Beshear would have been or Josh Shapiro, not Beshear. Josh Shapiro would have been a great one." I actually, when I had on Hendra Remus, who's a former Democratic chair for the state of Tennessee, he had said just in general of contenders, presidential contenders, and he gave me his, I think, top 4 or 5, and one of those was Andy Beshear out of Kentucky, which I was like, really? That was a wild card for me. I didn't see that coming. I did not see that one coming. But you knew that you could not. Gretchen Whitmer couldn't be on it because it's just society as a whole, and I don't understand why. I really don't understand why, but this is just the way of the game works. Society doesn't want to see 2 women in office. It sickens me to say so because I personally would love to see that. Women run the world. Okay, I'll just be honest. Women run the world. They deserve way more than what they're receiving. And a female can easily lead the country. So for all those who disagree with that, y'all can go stick it. But they can truly run the country. But I go back to the way, data shows, the way, talking with different analysts, and they would not be able to see, say, 2 females on the ticket. They wouldn't want to see 2 black people on that ticket. So again, that takes away Raphael Warnock and Wes Moore. So then you bring on maybe he was in like his 60s or late 50s age, governor out of Minnesota, not your typical blue state, and a guy who is a Midwest guy, a pro-gun guy, right? As your VP. I get it. But I think even though Mark Cuban is a billionaire, he's so honest and he's upfront. Maybe because he's a billionaire, because he can say whatever the hell he wants. But he's just that person that's like, I don't care what I'm gonna say it regardless. You're not gonna say what I am. He's a punk. He's this, he's that. Like, that's the kind of guy he is, and that's what you need. You need that dog mentality. You know what I mean? You need that mentality. Okay. Let me digress from this, y'all. We're gonna head to a commercial commercial break. When we come back, we'll have a lot more here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
Jazera Learning Institute, LLC, is a hybrid learning center that strives to educate adults and children in all fields. During the day, we offer programs that are focused on developing students from pre-K to 12th grade, which includes tutoring, homeschool co-op, an after-school program, SAT, ACT prep, and many more engaging academic programs. Our adult education programs include workforce trainings, GED prep, life coaching, various seminars, and many more. Our vision is to train and educate in a positive way that will lead to a positive change in the world, one person at a time. For more information, visit us online at JazeranLearningInstitute.com or call us at 757-208-7407.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
Rugged is the new smooth.
People age 65 and older are at high risk of injury, especially from falls and car crashes. But older adults can take steps to stay safe from injury and be independent longer. Tell your doctor if you have fallen, if you worry about falling, or if you feel unsteady when standing or walking. Learn more about preventing falls and aging without injury at cdc.gov/stillgoingstrong.
All right, my friends, welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. As I mentioned earlier in the program, why is it that the right is so damn obsessed with Barack Obama? Why is it? Why is it? Is it the fact that he is, I don't know, a very likable individual? Is it because he's a very he's a bipartisan individual? He's well respected. He's a clean cut guy, no baggage like your current sitting president? Is it the fact that he is I don't know, a man with swag? Is it because he shoots, he's a lefty, he's a left-handed basketball shooter? What is it? Like, it's so funny whenever the right has to discuss certain things, like, well, remember the Obama this, Obama that, Obama that. Obama ain't been in office for a long time. So what else is your excuse? Your guy is in there now causing all these problems. Now look, I'll be honest, there was I didn't always agree with I didn't agree on what the former President Barack Obama on everything, right? There was, but I agree with him the most part. But he brought saneness to society. I mean, I don't know, it's just the stress level was a lot low. I wasn't as gray during those years than I am now. I'm gray as gray can be. I had a head full of hair during that period. So again, it blows my mind to be like, why is it that the right just can't stand Barack Obama or Michelle? Can't forget Michelle, First Lady Michelle Obama. Look, both Harvard grads, raised two remarkable and accomplished daughters. And I mean, you know what I think. I think it's a lot of jealousy going on in there. I think it's a lot of jealousy happening with that. Look, I want to show you this clip, y'all. I saw this. I was watching Fox News, and I rarely watch Jesse Waters primetime. I'm not a fan of the show at all. Mainly because of Jesse Waters. He gets on my nerves, man. I'll watch other programs on Fox, but I can't stand Jesse Waters. But I'm a huge fan of Miss Teslin Figaro. She is a political strategist, host of the Straight Shot No Chaser podcast. She's also the chief correspondent for Revolt News, and she's just she's a no BSer. I love me some Teslin Figaro. She is awesome. She's somebody that I always, because everybody has a form of like mentors right now. It's difficult to, I always am thrilled to hear like her take on certain things. Her being a registered independent as well. And I'm just always like, okay, interesting. You make a good point there. So let me go ahead and show you this clip of when she basically got Jesse. Oh, she cornered him and he's just speechless, and it's pretty funny. So let me go ahead and play you this clip.
Barack Obama can't get Trump's name out of his mouth. Everywhere he goes is Trump, Trump, Trump. What's wrong with Barack?
Well, guess what? The same thing is wrong with Trump. They keep talking about Barack Obama. They talked about Barack, or how you've been talking about him the last 30 minutes, or all of the Republicans. Just to be honest with you, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, Jesse. 1 minute you say Barack Obama's too classy, and the next minute y'all say Representative Crockett is too over the top. So which one do you want? Should they meet you where you are, meet you where you're at, which I agree with. You want to get ugly? Let's get ugly. You want to be polite? Let's go Barack Obama. To be honest with you, I agree. The 2008 and 2012 strategies don't work anymore. You need to fight fire with fire. And it appears that Representative Jasmine Crockett, who I know you folks love talking about her, she seems to be meeting Trump right where he's at with the same type of rhetoric.
All right. Well, Crockett's invited on primetime any day. And if you talk to her, tell her the seat's open right here.
I will.
All right. Thank you so much, Tesla.
I mean, she torched that ass. Like she went in. And see, what I love it is Tesla, she's so poised. Like, you can't throw her off guard whatsoever. You just can't. And I so respect folks that will go into the lines. And what I mean by that is that Tesla, look, she is independent. She's welcome to all networks, whoever invites her, right? She specifically goes on the most on Fox. What I love about it is that she ain't scared to share her thoughts. She's not scared to attack both sides, especially, again, being Fox's majority. They're mainly a conservative. She's absolutely right. Let's be honest. Trump started this whole back and forth with Barack because he questioned the man's citizenship because of his middle name, and has yet to ever apologize for that. Because of him starting that BS, everybody else thinks it's okay. Well, let's talk about it. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's do that. I mean, come on. Trump wants to be Barack so bad. It's painful to see, Mr. President. Like he's trying to be like him and so popular like him. He will never be popular like him. All right, he would. He will never. Now, I agree with Tesla in regards to this winning the strategy that won the Democratic Party. Those two, 2008, 2012, that strategy is dead and gone, my friends. That is long gone. That is not a winning strategy anymore. You can't be nice nowadays. You can't. Being nice gets you bullied. Being nice and kind to both, it doesn't help you. It doesn't win elections. It does not. So me personally, just like how they mentioned Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. I like Jasmine Crockett. Why? Because she's not scared to meet you at what the same energy you giving. That's the same energy I'm going to give right back to you. You insult me to my face. Guess what? I will return the favor. Okay. The issue, one of the biggest issues that I have with the Democratic Party right now is that they're scared. They don't seem tough, in my opinion. There's not a lot of Jasmine Crockett's. And when you have someone like that, they don't embrace her as much. What did David Hogg say at the time when he was vice chair of the DNC? I would like to see someone like a Jasmine Crockett in leadership. I'm sorry, Hakeem Jeffries. You're starting to bring off this toilet tissue softness. Like, bro, have a backbone. Congressman Al Green stood up during that State of the Union and he was sent out. Y'all should have walked out with him. But you didn't. Freaking Fetterman. I mean, he's in a team of his own. He's being embraced by the right because he does not talk as much about the right like he talks about the Democratic Party. Why? Because they don't like his bipartisan activity. And look, I'm an advocate of bipartisanship. I believe you cannot run or lead a country by just from just one party. But my thing is the Republican Party right now is the MAGA party. It's not the Republican Party. That's totally separate. There's a disconnect on both sides of the aisle. I talk about it all the time here on the show. But this right here, this moment, I just thought that was so funny because Jesse is a guy that he makes money off of insults. That's all he does. That's really all he does. I don't even know why. I never saw him at all being some form of like a journalist at all. It's entertainment basis, opinionated basis. It's trash TV at its finest. Jesse Waters is also a star on the co-host of The Five, and now he has his own show too. So it's just like, okay, he's you see him twice, 5 times a day, twice. It's bit it's too much. It's too much. Let me go ahead. I'm gonna look at my time here. But again, I just want to shout out to Teslin Figaro. Be sure to check out her podcast, Straight Shot No Chaser. Hope to have her on the show sometime soon to just get her take of what's happening in the world. What would be ways to for to benefit the left as far as is their strategy working at the moment? They're trying to rebuild. You got midterms coming up. We've already been done with the primary. So what can they do? What can they do at this point? What can they do? Is fighting each other amongst different views on the left, is that going to help? Is having the moderates on one side and the progressives on one side, is that going to help you guys win? I go on the right. On the right is are you ever going to stand up to Donald Trump and his administration? Because you literally have so many long-standing conservative supporters that think differently than him, that are starting to really distance themselves from him. Yet you don't see that being shared on in Congress or in Senate. So I don't know. We will see, my friends. We will see. We will see. All right, let me go ahead and move it on to our final. Let's see. Well, I might have time to might have time for a couple more. So let me digress from that last story. Let me bring it on to this story that is no shocker, but I thought it was interesting. So social media, my friends, is now the new media. What do I mean by that? Social media is now the new media. So reported by The Guardian says here, social media overtakes TV as main source of news in the U.S. Analysts have found that global study shows 54% of Americans receive news from social media, overtaking TV and news outlets. So we talk about how linear television is starting to deplete. It's starting to crumble. It still is there, but it's nowhere near popular viewership wise. That's why you see a lot of corporations starting streaming channels, right? NBC has Peacock, CBS has Paramount, ABC is attached with Hulu and Disney Plus. Fox News has Fox Nation, and Fox Corporation has Tubi, and CNN attaches himself to Discover, Max, HBO Max. So everybody's going streaming. Why is that? Because hey, it's the way of the future. But really, social media, folks get their news from social media. Why? Because our attention spans are short. 30 seconds to 60 seconds, maybe 2 minutes at most. They're going to read an article, look at a headline, oh my goodness, and then go on about their business. They're going to look at a quick video, oh my goodness. Look, social media helped get Trump in office. Podcasting, he was doing podcasting. He was doing X, Y, and Z, doing all these little TikTok dances and having these interviews with these streamers. Kamala Harris, and they tried it, but it didn't work out to their capabilities. It says here that the accelerating global shift towards social media and video platforms is laid bare in a major study by the Reuters Institute for the Study of Journalism, which surveyed almost 100,000 news consumers worldwide. It reveals a further diminishing of the influence of traditional news organizations, with more people heading to podcasters, YouTubers, and TikTokers. The authors warned it is allowing populist politicians such as Trump and Argentina's Javier Milei to bypass the scrutiny of the transitional media in favor of new online networks. Now, check this out. Let me bring on this statistic that just really blew me away, and it was funny because I feel as though the man that posted this had a reason why he posted that. So let me go ahead and blow this up for you guys. And now look, I'm a part of that, digital space, right? I'm no expert. I'm just upfront with you. I'm here having a conversation with you all. So we speak politics, pop culture, sports, entertainment. We speak it all here on the Arrington Gavin Show. So check this out. David Pakman is a well-known progressive voice, probably has the most viewed progressive show or political show in the world. But he is a star on the progressive side. He had posted huge news for him. And I'll read this. It says, huge news. According to Oxford's 2025 digital news report, 7% of residents, 7% of respondents said they saw me discussing the news last week, ranking along the most recognized names in independent media. Real impact, real reach. Thank you for making this possible. Now, look, 7%. Pakman is an educated guy. He's all about the data. He's way more educated than me when it comes to this. 7%. Now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 folks that they have listed up here. A list of those names. You have Tucker Carlson. Okay, I get it. Journalist. Leans very strong right, but he's still a journalist. So he does his journalistic duties to be considered an independent news platform, because that's where he started his career from, his news, and still does so. Same with Megyn Kelly. All right. Both of those two former Fox News voices or faces. Now, Candace Owens is always been on the independent space, but she started off with PragerU. She works in the news circuit. She does. That's always been her bread and butter. Ben Shapiro, Daily Wire. I get it. Independent news. John Oliver. He is I would put John Oliver alongside like the Bill Maher, Jon Stewart. Humor meets news. They're very educated guys, but they're comedians, but they're still pretty sharp. But I won't say as sharp as a news journalist. Now they might be in the same realm with the Candace Owens, because Candace Owens is more opinionated, but she is pretty solid when it comes to certain investigations. Look, I'm not trying to tick people off, but she did a reporting on the Black Lives Matters Corporation, right? The corporation, not the movement, but the organization, and it ended up coming to light and being true. So, hey, I'm not a Candace Owens fan, but that has some truth to that. Barry Wise, I'm not too familiar with him, but I do know David Pakman and Brian Tyler Cohen, both two strong progressive voices. Now, here's the thing. Guess who came number one with 22%? But he came at number one. Check this out. Joe flipping Rogan. Since when is Joe Rogan an independent news source? See, that right there, my friends, is the problem with America. They're considering these folks news, but it's not. They're not. Joe Rogan will literally tell you, I'm not a news journalist. What he does, he sits down with influential folks and they talk for 5 damn hours. having a drink, smoking weed, having a cigar. It's a little bit of everybody. So because he interviewed freaking Trump, does that make him a news source? Like, give me a freaking break. Because he publicly endorsed a dude that is not qualified whatsoever, that makes him an independent news source? Come on. That's why I appreciate seeing a lot of these journalists that have been on corporate media for decades now going the independent route. Like, it's needed. You have the Young Turks. The Young Turks has been an independent media corporation forever. You hear me? But Joe Rogan, whew, y'all, that's the problem with America. Y'all getting your news from the wrong sort. And look, and I'm not telling you who who to go for your resource. That's up to you to who you want to go, receive the news. I'm just saying Joe Rogan might be a lane to get you to say, okay, look, I should read up on this. I should read up on that. But no, come on, y'all. Independent news. Give me a break. David Pakman is at least somebody that is heavily involved and that is a journalist, and he's big on facts. Like, that blew my mind when I saw that. But going back to this story of social media overtaking TV, yeah, it's just the new realm of things. And so I don't think that linear television will start doing stuff in shorter clips. Right? You either have a 30-minute show or an hour show or multiple hour program. Like, that's all that they're going to do in TV. Now streaming is that, it's versatile. There's folks that have 15-minute shows. There's folks that have 30-minute shows. There's folks that have 5-minute shows that just puts it out on clips. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. So I think it's interesting. I think it's a interesting article. I don't think it's a bad thing why folks use other sources to get their news, but I don't think that should be their only source. So for me, I'm not gonna read information based on a 30-second clip or a post. Like, no, I might get a mindset of what they might be discussing, but all it is it's a preview. It's a way to say, okay, look, headline, this shows this. Okay, I'm interested in reading more, right? Let me read it more in context. That's why when I speak of a certain story going on, y'all, in the show, I will share the headline and then I will share the article that's related to that story. Why? Because you have folks that, okay, read it in context, because you can't just follow the story based on the headline. Shout out to one of my mentors, Barbara Ham Lee, who is a journalist, longtime journalist, former general manager of a news station. She said, hey, look, there's certain avenues that this will show a headline, but you still got to have the paper. You still got to read the newspaper. All right, my friends, as always, there's my time. Be sure to continue to tune to the Arrington Gavin Show, weeknights, available on all platforms. Peace and blessings. Y'all take care. I'm out.
That's it for tonight on the Arrington Gavin Show. Thanks for tapping in and keeping the conversation alive. Don't forget, stay connected with us on all platforms. Follow at Arrington Gavin on Instagram, Blue Sky, and X, and subscribe to the official Substack for exclusive takes and deep dives you won't get anywhere else. We're here every weeknight, same time, same energy, same real talk. Until next time, stay bold, stay sharp, and stay true. That's what we do on the Arrington Gavin Show. Peace.